So I call us the accidental ranchers because it was really never our intention to get into ranching. Dan just wanted a fishing spot, and once we got out here, we totally fell in love with the area.
Ashlyn and I had never done ranching before. We're city slickers. Our foray into ranching was very sudden and abrupt and really not planned very well, but it turned out really well.
I'm Ashlyn Perry, and my husband and I co-own Trout Stalker Ranch in Chama, New Mexico. So Dan and I are very committed to conservation. We're a chemical-free ranch, so we're working really hard to make sure that we're using nature to take care of nature. Before we knew it, we had a real ranch, and then that led us to, well, now we need to manage it correctly.
I'm Dan Perry. I own the Trout Stalker Ranch with my wife, Ashlyn. Trout Stalker Ranch is 1,500 acres, located about 10 miles south of the Colorado line in northern New Mexico. It's got a really diverse habitat. We've got 4 miles of river running through it and a lot of ponds, which really supports a lot of wildlife in an extraordinary manner.
And if you really sit in any one place long enough and you're just quiet and you look around, then you start to notice the birds. Or if I'm watching the river, all of a sudden I'll see a fish swim by or a muskrat swim by, and I feel like you just never know what you're gonna see.
I got into ranching through a kind of circuitous way. I really love fishing, love fly fishing, and I'd always been looking for a little fly fishing retreat. As Ashlyn and I started working on developing the ranch, we started learning that ranching was something we were interested in doing. And we didn't know anything about how to do it. And so we joined some organizations and we leaned on them to teach us some of the things that we're doing now, like holistic management of our livestock and how much hay to cut and a lot of things that we didn't know the first thing about before. So I still love to fish, but we also have a working ranch.
Some of the things that we're doing are rotational grazing, because cattle, if they're managed correctly, actually help bring back the native species, the native grasses, so we're trying to implement that. We're trying to use raptor poles to bring the raptors to the ranch so that they can keep the prairie dog, population in check. We deepened holes, we put in structure for the fish. So from the early days to now, the fish are so much bigger just because we simply gave them the right habitat that they can grow and develop. And the more I'm around the ranch and the animals, I find that nature has its own way of taking care of itself. And if we can try to intervene actually a little bit less or try to do the right things to help nature along, then you will find success.
Preserving the environment is one of our primary goals here and making the environment better. We did a lot of things that we hope will leave the ranch and the environment of the ranch and the habitat of the ranch in a better place than it was when we found it. There are a lot of threatened species that are on the ranch that we put into a conservation easement with New Mexico Land Conservancy so that these species can be here forever. When you put land in a conservation easement, it means you're never going to develop the land. You can use agriculture on it and use agricultural methods, but it means you're never going to develop the land. So it's always going to be here for the mammals, for the insects, for the reptiles. They're all going to be here and, in perpetuity.
So when guests come to Trout Stalker Ranch, we're happy to give them a farm tour. We have decided to work with heritage animals. So one of ours is the Mangalista pig. So we have a group of little piglets and Mama Gladys. We have a breed of cattle called Scottish Highlanders, and the reason we chose them is because they're more like a bison. They grow a furry coat so they can survive the winters out here. And then we also have our bison, which Dan and I both love. And bison are just an amazing animal. They almost self-regulate as far as not eating too much of the grass. Part of my goal at Trout Stalker Ranch for when guests come is to make it not feel like a dude ranch. I want everybody to have a personal experience. I don't want it to feel like there's 50 other people here. Currently, we have 3 lodging options. We have our larger home called the Loft House. It has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. We're doing off-grid cabins. And cabins is a term to be used lightly because they're really beautiful modern structures that each have 2 bedrooms and a kitchen and beautiful views. Roadhouse actually has an interesting history because the Roadhouse was the original structure on the ranch, and it was kind of hidden down in a wet area, and we decided to move it board by board and rebuild it up on top of a beautiful lake. And it's a gathering spot where you can listen to albums, you can play shuffleboard, just a great place to hang out with your friends and watch the sunset.
Just being in nature at Trout Stalker Ranch is an incredibly exciting thing. It's just so beautiful out here. You might catch a sunset, you might catch a rainbow, you might catch a herd of elk. You never know what you're going to see at Trout Stalker Ranch. That's what we like to say around here. But just getting out, driving around, walking around, hiking, seeing what's happening that day. It changes so much from season to season. It's just great to be out here, immersed inside the ranch and just be part of it. It's really important for people to disconnect from their daily urban lives and get out into the country sometimes, into nature. It's just, it's getting back to your roots. It's seeing how everything really works at a more fundamental level. And it's just, it's inspiring.
My goal with guests coming to the ranch is to really put them back in touch with nature. I feel like so many of us have gotten disconnected from the birds and the wildlife and the trees and just quiet even. We need to get back to our wild place or our place within us before the technology came. There have been articles about physicians that are actually prescribing people to get out in nature and take a walk and go in a forest as therapy for anxiety and depression.
We want guests when they come to Trout Stalker Ranch to really feel like they can relax, they can enjoy the beauty that surrounds them everywhere, and that they can maybe do something new they haven't done before. Maybe somebody's always wanted to ride a horse but didn't get a chance to ride a horse. Maybe somebody's wanted to fly fish before, didn't get to. Maybe they're passionate about fly fishing and they get to do it again. We want our guests to have an immersive experience where they really let their hair down and get out in nature and just enjoy it.